Well, the biggest and most divisive debate in hockey is back. And we have the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League to thank for it, the QMJHL, letting us know earlier this week that it intends to implement a new rule this summer that will make it clear, in black and white, that fighting is no longer a part of the game. So if the Q is going to ban fighting outright, what does this mean for the O? Well, first of all, I think if we're being honest, we recognize that fights have dropped dramatically in the Ontario Hockey League and across junior hockey, but in the O, since new rules were brought into place, and those rules have been made stricter over time. I mean, as it stands right now, you get 3 for free, if you will. Fights, that is. And after your third fight, every fight thereafter gets you a 2-game suspension. Players don't want to be sitting for that length of time. Teams don't want their players sitting for that length of time. So we're seeing fewer fights. And I think, generally speaking, we'd agree that this is a good thing, right? Gone is the designated enforcer. Gone is the bullying that would lead to a player who doesn't want to engage in fisticuffs being forced to engage in fisticuffs. These are some good things. And I also understand the arguments as to why we should be keeping an eye on fighting in the game, right? We don't want players being injured, especially if it's like a 16-year-old fighting against a 20-year-old. That's a pretty big gap at that age and stage of your life. And we want to be cognizant of head injuries. These are all very good things. But should we take fighting out of the game entirely? I say no. And I hear you. I know, well, it doesn't happen in other sports. Why in hockey? Well, I think one of the main reasons it happens in hockey is because, or we should let it still happen in hockey, is because in hockey, you're carrying this spear in your hands. And if you're not allowed to drop the gloves and settle something that way, what do you think you're going to start doing with the spear in your hands? Look, I think the reduction in fighting has been good for the game. I'm not trying to be a knuckle-dragging Neanderthal here, but if you take fighting out of the game, I'm a little bit worried about what happens instead. I'm Farwell. It's Friday. We'll see you at the rink.